close up this embarrassing situation. You know I have a problem with that. Oh, look at that. Oh, that needs to be closed, right? Holy moly, who in the world showed you that? Okay, testing, let's see. Holy moly, who in the world showed you that? Testing, let's see. At least you know this place is real. Okay, this is a real situation here. Look, I have my tea. The house is a hot mess. I have like this much time for some joy in my life. And what does joy do for me? Where do I find that? In paper. Pretty paper. Okay, let me take a sip before we continue. I am, okay, you know I'm always doing my sweet Anna Griffin stuff here, okay? But if you don't know this about me, I love Prima. Prima was one of my absolutely favorite items from way back when, you know, the 1990s. Hey, sweet Dell, how are you? Are you also a Prima fan? And I love Frank Garcia. I want to just squeeze his little self and tell him thank you for all the beautifulness. But I try to restrain myself. Hey, Cheryl, how are you? I try to restrain myself because it helps with the budget to stick to one brand. But I am in love with thisness, okay? Okay, first of all, it has teddy bears. Okay, it has teddy bears. It has sewing, look at that. Did you see that? It has the most beautiful sewing pictures. Where, look at that. Look at that. How am I not supposed to buy the entire shebang collection? Yes, and I said something to my girlies. Look at this side. Look at that side. Look. Okay, so I said I've got to order it, and I'm taking his class. I think you can find it on Spellbinders. You get some of the. Oh, he's so cute. You get some of the collection when you buy the class. I'm looking in here for more stuff. Look at these gorgeous. These are, yes, they are rub-ons. And I hear Prima makes really gorgeous rub-ons. I have not tried rub-ons. Okay, and where else do I have? And I have beautiful paper. Solid, because you know what? I want solid paper when I work with a collection, because what does that make? That makes for beautiful mats. That makes for beautiful pages. Like, I want solid. So I need that, right? Okay, so I bought the collection on Frank Garcia because I want to give him credit. You know, he is the designer of this collection. He works with Prima and Spellbinders, if I'm correct. I may be saying that all wrong because I'm not up to date with everybody's, you know, connection. But look, it says Frank Garcia Studio. It's Buttons and Keepsakes. But here's the deal. It has teddy bears. And no, I did not go find it. It's stored somewhere in my container. Teddy bears. Do you see that little teddy bear? So my entire childhood, my mother had a teddy bear on their bed in the master bedroom. This gorgeous little teddy bear on the side of the little nightstand. It was always there, and I have it in my possession. Yes, bro, 1, 2, 3. Yes, and my sister didn't get it. I did. And I have him stored up. You know, he's packaged. But it is the most beautiful teddy bear, and this reminds me of it. So I had to buy it, right? I had to get it. It's the teddy bear. I think he's German, and his little arms and feet move. And he's not completely bald, but he's getting there. You know, all of us, you know, age. And yes, I did get the 12 by 12. So the 12 by 12, what I did notice, and maybe I have to go back and take a second look. I got 2 packages of the 12 by 12 because you know I love me a 12 by 12. Look at the gorgeous swan. Look at those little machines. Ah, just look at that, the blue, and it is just. So yes, I will be doing stuff with this, okay? I will bring this over and show you everything on my table, but I wanted to show you a quick little segment of it and what my craziness is up to, okay? Because yes, I am the Anna Griffin girl. I have every little product, and I did just get the embossing folders. Did you get them? I have 2, by the way, because I didn't realize I had to buy the plates. So if anybody needs a second without the plates, let me know, or I'll just keep them. Okay, so what I want to do with this, I think I have 2 of the 8x8s and 1 of the 6x6, and 2 packs of the solids and 2 packs of the 12x12, and those are my supplies. So if you want to get something like mine, that's what I got. And then of course I did get the dies, and I was cutting them up a little bit. Look at how delicate that is. Look at how delicate that little thing is. Look at that. And I'm not an itty bitty person, but you know what? I have ready my little Spellbinders itty bitty pickups, tweezers, because I am going to play with this. So I'm going to show you real quick what I have going on, and then we're going to work. I have about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12x12s of the Anna Griffin Ivory. I think it works really, really well as a base for that. And I want to make like a waterfall baby mini book of some sort. So I want to tell you how I think and how things go when I start doing this. First, before anything happens, yes, the paper is gorgeous and it'll be beautiful no matter what, right? But what kind of pictures do you want to put in your mini book? What kind of pictures do you want to put in? That's where my brain starts first, okay? What are we going to do with this mini book? Because I have mini books. They're up there. Okay, they don't have pictures in them because they're just too pretty. And I have said that the excuse is because I've had stinky boys all my life, and who wants to put pictures of stinky boys on top of beautiful stuff? Anyway, I digress. Okay, so we went 4x6 and we went 5x7. So from those 2 things, I will work on getting a mini book from the Ivory as my template. Okay, do you see where I'm going with that? Okay, so now let's, oh, and I got the ink, and I have no idea how to use this. Is it different ink? It says Better Press ink. Is it different than regular ink? I don't know. And I think with the Spellbinders, I want all of it kit, you get embossing folders and some kind of gilding things, and I don't have stuff for that, but I'll figure out how to use it. But look at these gorgeous colors. Look at that dreamy, soft. Yes, it goes with my curtains back there. Okay, sweethearts, let me move you to my desk so that you can see the crazy stuff I have going on for you. Okay, here we go. Let's move over. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so I have everything here ready for us. How is everybody doing? Let me see if I can say hello. Hi, Dell. How are you? And I know my friend Dawn was going to be here with me, and my friend Shirion was going to be here with me. And Rose Lily. Hey, Rose Lily, how are you? Are your layouts all finished from this weekend? Are you? Okay, let's look at some of the dies, okay, because I did cut them up before I started. Let me bring this in really close. Okay. Look at these dies. Now, these are dies that are itty bitties. Okay. I love the idea that we have 2 swans. Okay. And all of these little, I don't know, bows and a little dress. Love that. This gold, by the way, is, what are we calling it? The Anna Griffin gold foil. Okay. That's what I have here. Okay, and I did run these several times. Look, I told you I wasn't an itty bitty person. I broke some things, but I figured I could double them up, right? So that, like use them 2 or 3 times, glue them to themselves. I like doing that with dies that are itty bitty small. Look at this most delicate, little, tiny, gorgeous bow. And yes, I'm sorry, I apologize. My contractors are gone, but they're picking up stuff and moving things around. So you might hear people talking. And yes, my hands are dirty because I've been working. Okay, so back to that. All of these little bitty things, I did not even cut them all up. Here is the die set, the paper. Okay, I already kind of have them put on a magnet plate. So we'll move that one out of the way. And this one is this one, the little Spellbinders Keepsake Swans. And this one is called the Couture dress form, okay? And they kind of look like this. All right. Yes, no, maybe. And let me see where my other little thing is at. And the ink, I don't know, is letterpress different? Is it, I know a letterpress machine. I had one once before. I think it was the Fiskars. Do you guys remember the Fiskars letterpress machine? Um, I, I, I got rid of it. I don't know where it went, maybe Goodwill or something, but I never used it. I just it didn't work for me. Um, it was like really big. It was like the size of a sewing machine, actually. Yeah, it was really big. Okay, so now let's look at the paper. You have that, right? You have what I've kind of just barely cut out. Oh, let me go back up here and look. See you at 3. Hey, Dale, how are you? Cheryl, Rose Lily, Rose, and Brian. Hey, Rosie, how are you? You have been a busy little bee cooking up a storm. I know. These are pre-cutouts. Now, look at how gorgeous these are. I am telling you, I looked through every single one of these. I put the buttons over to the side. I love the idea that they give you an option to look at all these little buttons, to give them to you before you don't have to fussy cut them. Yeah, I hear that really bad back there. Look at that. They're look at this little, wouldn't that be gorgeous with that glossy accent stuff? Remember the glossy accent stuff? Hey, Linda, how are you? And B, hey, you used to be a big Prima girl. You probably have a whole bunch of stuff that I would love. Hey, Jane, how are you? And Patty, aren't these adorable? Aren't they? Hello, Anna, how are you? I have spellbinders, so I don't know how I missed these. Well, I think they're kind of new, and he is doing a class, and I can't even tell you when it is. If it's July 17th, I want to say it's on a Thursday at like 4, is it Pacific time? Look at this little cute, this one looks just like my mama's cute little teddy bear. Yeah, isn't that so adorable? Adorable. Yep. He just looks adorable. And then they have little girls. Look at these little girls. Look at her cute little face. She's adorable. And you don't have to cut it up. Yes, and Spellbinders, I mean, Frank Garcia's store is on my bucket list. I just haven't made it there. I keep telling myself I'm going next. I was wanting to go in October, but it's not going to happen this year. So maybe next year, October, he does the Christmas in October kind of thing. So that's what I want to do. I want to go during his Christmas special. Oh my goodness, look at that cute little teddy bear with a pretty little dress. Ah, yes, and the little curly locks. And green and pink. You know I'm a green and pink girl. Okay, so those are all the pre-cutout cutouts, right? But that goes right back in here. And then I thought, I know we all know how to make these gorgeous flowers, but I always like to buy the Prima ones because it gives me something to go by so I can attempt to make them look like they do. Okay, look, I try to make them look like they do. So that way I can come in here and play with it. So that is my gorgeous collection of little flowers. I have more, but Prima just does the most beautiful flowers. Now, if I'm correct, when I was looking at these, there is no gold embossing in the small collection. Oh, look, there's another piece I was looking for that. Where's my other paper? Oh, here. I was trying to decide what size I wanted to play with, and for some reason the 8x8 is a very limited quantity, and see, I don't see any of the little gold flakes on. Look at the little girl, she's adorable. And these little tiny gorgeous vintage prints, those are just too pretty. Gorgeous for little tags and little pockets. So when I look at this, I want to say, what do I want to make with it? And I want to make a little mini. Okay, so here is the solid paper. I love to have access to solid paper because you can make your printed paper work with it. You can make it extend the life of it. You can make pretty stuff with it without even trying too hard. And look at the solids go with the flowers. Okay, so you can make your own flowers by buying the paper kit, the paper that goes with it, right? So that's what I have here. And then I have to show you the rub-ons. The rub-ons look so freaking delicious. Let me see, where's the edge of this paper? Yeah, it says Frank Garcia, $8. And he does have a coupon if you like use his email address or something, or the other. Look how pretty that looks. Look at that, am I gonna say that correctly? Peony. Look at the gorgeous sewing machine. And so what I like about these, and you have to kind of work with it, is when you have, hey Wendy, when you have the rub-ons and they already look kind of vintagey, then I'm not so scared at rubbing it on and it doesn't go on perfect. Okay, if it kind of tears or moves, it's supposed to look like that. Look at how gorgeous that little dress is. Does that make sense? So when they're meant to be absolutely perfect, you know, then it scares me, because what about if I mess up? So it's there. I thought it was Wendy. Wendy, hey Wendy, how are you? It's Wendy Crafts, I think. Yes. Okay, so here is the big pack. Just discovered Frank Garcia this year and I'm in love. Oh my goodness, Frank is like, yeah, he's incredible. Okay, now let me see if I can bring my camera a little bit different. So what I saw, okay, so this is 2 packs and it says here 16 sheets and 8 double-sided, 2 of each. So mine is going to be double because I have 2 of them. Okay, and look at how beautiful that is. Tell me that is not the scissors. That's what I was thinking about. Wendy, where are you? Look at the scissors. Wendy, you have scissors on you. Look at that. Look. Okay, so here is what I'm talking about. It's embossed and it already has that little gold glittering glimmer to it, right? Can you see that? And if you flip it over, you can kind of barely feel that embossing. So the other pages don't have that in it. So I really like the 12 by 12 because of that, because I don't have a glimmer. Is that what it's called? Glimmer machine. So I can emboss it though, like the old-fashioned way, right? With the paper. Yes, exactly. So look at those little tiny dots of glimmer in there. And I love that. That is, where's my sweet friend Angie? That is just perfection. Enough glitz that it's perfect, but it's not tacky. It's absolutely perfect. And look at the back. I didn't even show you the backs, okay? So I was telling you, while I'm scanning through here, I'll give you happy notes. Education, because I want you to know what I'm thinking when I'm doing these lovely things. For some odd reason, I think I have something to give. Dreamy paper, absolutely. I want to see how I'm going to turn this into a little mini book, and it's in my head. I already have it in my head. I'm just trying to create it with my hands. Everything comes in my head first before it comes out. And look, they also have dies with these little words on them, and I think you get that with the Spellbinders class. Look at all these. See how it already has those little accents? I think we can stamp it and then glimmer. No, emboss it using embossing powder. So you can see these much better with the 12 by 12, right? You can see that. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, Wendy. I appreciate it. Look at this. This pink right here is so pretty. This is all just up my alley that I can't even tell you how much I love this. Okay, look at that little dress, the little books, the little threads, it all the way around. A little pin, I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, and then the back has these little diamonds and the little bows and green again. You can't go wrong. So all of these little words are in a die set that I think you get with that kit. Not, I didn't buy I bought the kit for the class. So I'm going to end up with 2 of these dies for some of them. Okay, so now let's talk about how we're going to get this stuff over here. And let me take this part away, okay? And we're going to start a Prima mini book series because and this is Ivory from the Anna Griffin collection, okay? The Ivory cardstock. And let me bring my little templates over here, okay? So I want a 5x7 and a 4x6. And if you have 2 4x6s, do you see how that goes? Yeah. Oh, and the stamp. Yeah, you like my little stamp. Absolutely adorable. In my little Amazon store. Go and take a look. So I want my book to hold 5x7s, and I want my book to maybe hold 4x6s. So you kind of have to decide. That's the first thing you need to decide. 1, what size pictures do you want it to fill? Okay, what do you want it to fill? I love the little bitty 6x6. Is that what this little mini book is? Yes, 6 by 6.5. I love this size, but then look, my pages get smaller. And if my pages get smaller, then I can't even get I can get 1 4x6 vertical. So I don't want to do that. I want it to be a little bit bigger. I want to at least get a 5x7 in there, and maybe 2 4x6s, right here. I'm thinking that is too big. I'm kind of wanting this way. I just think that second is not going to work for me. So my page, if this is the 5x7, my page needs to be an 8x6. So there's your decision on how big you want it to be. I'm going to go and cut this one at the height of 8. Okay, and I think I can only do 1 at a time with my cute little paper trimmer. And now the other thing that I love about Prima's stuff, for me, it's very shabby chicy, let's call it that. And if it's shabby chicy, therefore I can, don't you just love that, shabby chicy? I can then be not exact with the paper. You can kind of have a little bit of goof ups, but you know, you can still fix it. Okay, so I am thinking that I want 3 pages inside of my little mini book. So I'm going with the height of 8. Hold on to these lovelies because they can become really cute stuff. Okay, ivory paper in this house does not go in the trash. A lot of that stuff does, but not that. Okay, so in my world of doing this, I also want to bring this over here. Now we're not able to see the difference so much. Here is where I'm at. I'm leaving a half an inch around for scoring, right? Wait, lost stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna need that. So if I have a half an inch all the way around, right, then I'm gonna be on the wide side 6, right? So that's going to be my first score line is going to be on the 6 score line. I know this is super basic mini book making instructions, okay? This is how my little head works when I'm trying to do a mini book. I'm gonna say 6 right here. Okay, and thank goodness it wasn't my paper score tool that fell. It was something else. Okay, so now I'm gonna do a 6, but then I always allow a 1/2 inch for that little flap in between to fold your paper. I don't know what that little space is, but I allow 1/2 inch. So then that means I need another score at 6. Okay. And then I go from that score line, I go a whole inch. Really, you only need a 1/2 inch. I'm kind of thinking about it to attach to your, you purchased this entire collection. Hello. So I did you? So who purchased the entire collection? Eve, I think it was you and I that bought the entire collection. I bought the class and I probably have double. So I'm going a 1/2 inch in and I'm cutting. So what did we end up with? We ended up with 7 inches across and up and down tall. I have an 8. That's my first little mini book page. Okay. And this again is my little template. Okay. It's just my little template. Hey Doris, how are you? Michelle Taylor, hello, how are you? Well, Eve, how many did you get, Eve? And tell us, Eve, what this Better Press ink is. Can I just like ink like normal, or is it only for a Better Press machine, letterpress system, or will it's just normal Ranger archival cleaner? I think it's just regular, right? I can use it for normal stuff. Okay, so this is going to be my first little page on my little mini book. And you see, this is the hinge that gets glued, and then this is the hinge that allows your little mini book to kind of flop around. Okay, you see that? And in my head, I want a waterfall, right? So therefore my book is getting bigger because the first page, I really think I need a 5x7. Okay, so it's gonna get wider this way. So now let's go take a look and cut page 2 and 3. And yes, I can give you written instructions for this, so don't worry about it. I will give you written instructions for this after we put it together, because that's the best time for me to do it. Okay, so here's 7. Okay, and I am scoring at we went back. Hold on, we have to go back. Let's go do it this way. Okay, so the first score is at 6, but this one is going to be 1 inch bigger, so the first one is going to be at 7. Now let's see if we're thinking correctly. We're gonna go in at 7. Did you think you were getting a mini book lesson? Probably not, huh? We were just gonna stare at the beautiful Frank Garcia stuff, right? Okay, so here's your second page. Okay, here's your first page. And you see how this is the waterfall effect? It's a whole inch bigger than your first page. Okay, so now from that score line, we just did this one. Let's go back and make sure you know right here. Our first score line was at 7, and then remember we allow a 1/2 inch for that little flappy thing that allows the pages to sit flat. I don't know what the technical word is for that. And then you're going to go another 1/2 inch because that's the spot that the book gets glued to. Okay, did you see how that worked? I know, it's just lovely. Hello Mary, how are you? Hello. I'm so happy you're here. The Better Press machine has special papers, but you can use regular watercolor papers and get the same results. I love watercolor paper. I have a whole monster roll of it. Okay, so we are saying that this is page 1 and this is page 2, and now we're going to page 3, right? And since page 1, excuse me, yeah, uh, this one is 8. So that means that this one is going to be, I don't remember. I have to make sure I'm doing this. This one is 7. Our page 2 is 7. And our page 1 is 6. So page 3 is going to be 8. Ooh, that's my lucky number. Okay, so 8. Move this over. Okay, so now we are scoring at 8, and that's a beautiful size. That's 7 by 8. Really, really good size. Okay, now we're gonna go in 1/2 inch for that little flappy thing that helps us fold. Okay, right there, and then we're gonna score, and then we're gonna go over to 9, and then you're gonna cut. Am I sure? That's the hinge. This is the sticky. Okay. Okay, so let's go through this again so I can remember what we have. Hey, Annie. Hey, my Annie. How are you? Hey, we were really missing you in my class on Saturday because we were just, you know, our Annie, our school teacher, was just not there. And I just think that now you're just going to have to come. Okay, so this page here is, what did we say it was, tall? 8, I believe, yes. So this is 8 tall, and then wide it's 6, and the first score line. And then you have a second score line 1/2 inch later, and then you cut. So the entire paper is 7 by 8, okay? 7 by 8. That's page 1. And I'm going to use my little pencil, page 1. Then when you flip over the other side, you know what that's called? Page 2. Ha 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 ha. And then page 3. Okay, the second signature page is 8 going wide, and tall you're again at 8, and you have a score line at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Okay, and this for me is page 3, and flip it over, and you're saying it is page 4. You see how lovely that is? Loveliness. And that is going to give us this really gorgeous little waterfall effect for our little mini book that we're going to use with Prima Loveliness. Okay, and then our next one is 9 inches wide, and again she's going to be 8 inches tall, and you have a score line at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Okay, and this is going to be page 5 and page 6. Okay, and from here we can now work and do lovely, beautiful things with covering it up and doing all kind of lovely things like that with our beautiful Prima paper, right? Because isn't that the fun part? But the base here, you have your beautiful base. Now, of course, for me, the first thing I love to do with anything, when I'm working with Prima, okay? Oh, I'm a little bit crooked. Hold on. Oh, am I going the other way? Let's see. No, this way. Anyway, the next thing we're going to do is ink. And I want to ink with the gold glitz, okay? Because maybe I'm going to have other stuff in here that is going to be inking with the other colors. So I'm going to add just my little, normal little just edging with the gold glitz, okay? Front, back. This is fun to do before you get started, so you can let it dry. I've been doing some serious messes with ink and embossing, and yeah, it's been wild around here. Stuff that I don't usually have has been wild. Yeah. Okay, and this is good for you to ink before if you don't have any of the other colors, right? And I kind of just do a very soft around everything, right? So inking is going to, after you have your pages all nice and cut out, the next level of what we're doing is our little inking department here. And you can ink any color you wanna. Maybe we're gonna have, what am I thinking here? Different pages. Every page can have a different color. I have 4 different colors of inks. You see how that works? Loveliness. Okay, so that's what happens next. I feel like it's wet. Now let's try these babies out. You know I'm going to go for the rose first. And these I think are minis. These are small. They're not the big ones. Hey, how are you, Michelle? Everybody enjoy 4th of July? Absolutely. It's a very special one this time, right? Well, did I tell you guys I got married on 4th of July? Look at how cute these are. These are so tiny. That is adorable. Okay, let me work on a little piece of scrap. You see how adorable that is? Oh my goodness. I think that's just adorable. So, really pretty, soft color on there. Do you see? It kind of has a rosy pink to it. Okay, let's try the next one. The next one says vanilla. They're super, super tiny. It is called the Better Press Frank Garcia Studio Mini Ink Set. It just barely gives you a little bit of that vintage kind of wear to it. Oh, I like that. You know, if you want to have a little bit of age to your paper without having to crinkle it up like I usually do. You guys got that when I did the class. It was August and September. Ooh, this one, it looks very bright. So what is this one gonna look like? Nope, it looks really good. Look at that. I think that looks really pretty. Also, a very nice, soft, but what would you expect other than Frank Garcia to do? A very pretty color. Hey, Candy, how are you? This is perfect for a little girl book. Look, look. That is such, it doesn't look anything like that color. I mean, it's just concentrated, but look at that. It's just really pretty. And then they have a blue. I'm sure it's going to be the same. It is gorgeousness. I love it. But why would I not? Look at that. Okay, so you can sit there in front of the TV and age your paper with all of these lovely colors, and it will look absolutely gorgeous. I would do gold first and then all these lovely colors. And do they all like stack up together? No? Yeah, I think they do. I might have to order the big size. Those are adorable. Okay, so we inked. Now we're going to go and find the page that we want to do first, right? This would be what we consider our title page. So our title page inside of this, and I might take something from the 8x8, because that's the thing that you have when you have them in all different sizes. The inside little picture is just made to fit, and let's see if that is going to be the right size, because that is it. That's the one I want. Okay, right there. And that looks like that would be so stinking gorgeous. And this is beautiful also. Now tell me, this paper is pretty strong. I love it. I am working with this ivory, but I can tell you that this would be perfect as the actual book page also. Like, use this, and that way you have both sides to work with. Does that make sense? I have no problem doing that. Now I have to look and see where I'm going to put an inch in. Right here. It would be right inside of her. So then I think I would have to go and do the 12x12 paper. And that one might be too big, you see? And that also, if I did that, she would also be right on the edge. And I just don't think, I think I want to do the other one. And that is called changing your mind, testing it out, what I call dry fitting your little situation here. Okay, but I love this. And I think I want to have her sit right here. I don't want it to be outside. And because I don't want it to be cut here, this is what we're going to do. You're going to think I'm crazy, right? Because I have 3 different sizes I want to work with, and one of them would be absolutely perfect, which is page 3 would be the perfect size. Do you see that? So let's do it. Are you ready? Are you ready? I know, I've been doing this. So you ready? Ah, I cut it. Yes, I cut it with my little fingers. Remember when we used to do that? Remember? Okay, so I've been doing that because my August class is a sandy road, and it's kind of crinkly. And yes, I hold on into all these little pieces. And you know that I have these lovely containers that I am in love with. And I put, you know, I have one per project, and I can stick all my little pieces in here. Okay, and then we can come in here and see what we want to cut out. Okay, because you might be wanting that for something else. I know. I know. You don't know. I know it feels horrible to cut paper, but look how pretty it is. Look at that. Oh, I am so pretty. And how are we not going to cut up this gorgeousness of little dress? Okay, so that's it for today. A little lesson of cutting paper. Remember when we used to do that way back when, okay? And she fits inside of this 8x8, and I kind of think that I like that. And I'm going to come in here and cut the top of it also. And here's the trick. There's 2 directions of cutting paper, right? You cut it towards you, and you will have that white part. Or you cut it away from you, and you have a the white part towards the back. Okay, you see that? So you can do either one of those lovelies. And I am going to get a very light inking around my edges. And this is already pre-inked because I use it for other things, right? And I'm adding a little bit of vintage brown. This is called Gathered Twigs. And then I have one that is called Vintage Photo. And I'm just kind of giving it a little bit of texture so that those white pieces are not showing. And I don't know what I'm doing in the back. So I practice inking and take those white pieces away. So just like that, okay? And then I have tons of different little brushes, and I can brush with this, but I'm just gonna use my pad here, okay? And I'm gonna kind of add a little bit of that pink to her. Okay, so inking, tearing, where we decided to start on page 3, signature, what do we call them? The signature of page 3, because that's where we're at. Okay. And we haven't even talked about the cover, what would you call that? The cover of the book, because we don't even know how far we're going to go in here. And I'm kind of using the pistachio green in the areas that they have pistachio, like right there around those books. You see, you can kind of give it a little more color. And I'm going to use a little bit of the vanilla, okay, around my baby bear's face. let's find some blue areas. That one is ciel, el cielo, ciel. Okay. Pretty, pretty, pretty. What do you think? Are we there? The vintage soot, vintage photo gathered, okay? And you know this is just step one. We decided to make our pages. Now we're deciding to work with our dies, and yes, I have to add a little bit of gold because I'm a little bit glammy in my world. I like a little glammies, and so we will add, and this is called this is really a yellow gold, okay? It's called Golden Glitz from Delicata, and I love it. I have it in silver, and I have it also silver shimmer, and I have right here next to me at all times the refills, because that's important. You can't work with something and not have a refill for it. Okay, now there we go. Let it dry, and this is what I'm calling right here. And you know we have to distress the pages and ink them and all that loveliness. Okay, so I will leave you there, my sweet people. This is what I'm doing with my little mini book with what I'm calling our Prima Frank Garcia mini, and we will have little times here and there to play with it. Now in here, where's my other little stuff? In here would be perfect, this little baby right there. Okay, do you see how that would be work? Oh, she's so pretty. I'd have to put a little dress on her and all kind of stuff, but maybe just the bottom, you know what I mean? Maybe just the bottom. And yes, you have to use little bitty tweezers. You feel like a surgeon when you're doing this kind of work, because yeah, it would be like this. Okay, now the other thing that I absolutely love doing with distressing, because I have them right here and I don't want to forget about telling you, are these two little things. Were the dies on Spellbinder's site. I got everything from Frank Garcia's .com. These are really fun to distress with if you want to do like just the edge of the photo and make it look like it's a stitching. Okay, it's really fun for a little tag. Really? Okay. It gives you that little texture without having, it just looks like, what do they call them? I think they're dressmakers. Tracing, you guys know. I just know what I like to use. Okay. And then you can come and ink that area and it shows up more. Alrighty, sweet people. There is our lesson plan for today. We will come back and do this. I have a lot going on with this week's, what do we have? We have carpenters here and my stone guy. So this is going to fit right inside, and it's going to be our page there. We have to distress all of these other pages, and then we're going to end up with a gorgeous little waterfall that you can see all of the loveliness. Ah, yes. Okay. I purchased all of them from Spellbinder dies, embossing folders, and press plates. And the Spellbinder site, they have a deal on the IWIA bundle. I want all of it. I think it's called IWIA bundle. Eve, yes. And let me find the class that he's teaching us, right? I don't know. Is it on Spellbinders, the Spellbinder site? Frank Garcia class, buttons. I'm sure that's what it's called. It's pricey. It's $100. It's not like it's but I love it. I want it all bundled. That's what she's calling it. Okay, so let me, oh, I know I can't copy and paste that on here because it's too big. So all I did was Frank Garcia buttons class, and you will get to it. There's only so much space that you can go. The class will be on Spellbinder's YouTube channel. Yes, it'll be like a webinar. You can't hear each other, but you'll be talking to each other. All right, my loves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see. I can take this off so I can say hello. And yes, this is all of our lovely stuff. Hello, how are you? Okay, so I'm going to see you again. I don't know when. Please subscribe and then ring the bell so you get a notification when I come out. Please come over to my Facebook group so that you can find me there also, and I will announce when I'm coming out. But it'll probably be around this time because this contractors leave at this time, so that's the best time for me. So thank you so much, and I will see you later. Thanks. Bye.